Hello, it is Friday, October 29th. Thank you for tuning in. I don't have an idea for what I'm going to name this yet, but basically just wanted to come on here and give a little life update. I have this new camera. The real reason that I'm recording this video slash podcast is because I have this new camera that I wanted to test out and wanted to see how the microphone camera combo is. I have this new Rode microphone as well. So kind of just, I don't know, testing it all out, give a little life update. Um, so yeah, right now, end of October, Halloween weekend. It's Friday, probably going to stay in tonight, but going out tomorrow with a bunch of friends. I'm being Wolverine. So if you follow me on social media, you'll probably see some pictures or videos. Maybe I'll do a fit check in the Wolverine outfit in Manhattan at some point tomorrow. We'll see. But excited for that. And in terms of life outside of things like that, like more like my day-to-day stuff, I'm working on a book right now. Actually, it's going to be an ebook. It's not going to be anything crazy. Basically, how I see it is more of a database than a book with like constant flow between chapters. Less like that, more just like a place where I'm going to write about a bunch of different topics that I talk about regularly on my podcast, on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, etc. Mental health related things like overthinking, worry, anxiety, gratitude, acceptance, things that have helped me over the years live the best life that I can, and things that I share regularly, as I already mentioned. So I'm writing that. I have about 20 topics written a little bit about so far. Probably 15 of them are more or less complete. It's still just the first draft, so I'm going to have some people um, edit it and give me feedback on it, read about it. It's also going to include some journal prompts, like some gratitude uh, related things that you can maybe incorporate into your morning or nighttime routine. So I think this is going to be my first step into really monetizing all of this content that I've been doing for over a year now, because I haven't really made any money from it. So just really gonna try and get into being able to shift away from my full-time job and start making money from this. I have 560,000 followers on TikTok now. You figure I should be able to start making some money from that. But anyway, that's going to be my first step. It's going to be cheap too, the book. It'll probably just be linked in my bio on all my platforms through Stan, which is a company I'm working with, to get that out there. And it'll just be downloadable. I'm thinking under $10 for sure, maybe closer to 5, maybe $4 even. So stay tuned for that. Very excited to get that out there. It'll probably be a sort of situation where I publish the first version of it essentially, and then I'm thinking I'll update it monthly, include maybe one more chapter, or maybe bi-monthly, every 2 months. Include a section where it's like DM responses. So if I get a lot of similar questions on through DMs, which I do, I'll kind of combine them or answer just individual questions specifically, and then I'll tell someone who DMs me like, "Hey, appreciate the question. I just actually added this to my ebook. You can buy it for a couple dollars." Because I get a lot of DMs and I'm not very good at responding to them, but I think this will, at least allow me to, I don't know, I don't want to say like take advantage of it, but at least have a reason to get back to all of the DMs. And people say, I've heard things like the money is in the DMs. So I think this is kind of what they're referring to, figuring out what people really want out of you and your content, and then being able to provide them with a good and or service. So along with getting the book out there, I'll probably start doing one-on-ones. I opened that up a few weeks ago or a month ago or so, but I realized my process just wasn't built out very well in terms of receiving payments and scheduling and things like that. So Sounds like someone's at my fire escape right now. Be kind of sketchy. Disregard. Anyway, so the one-on-ones, I'll probably get back into that. I'm thinking of probably just making that pretty expensive because I realized very quickly that it's not scalable. It's literally my time for a given amount of money. So it's not how I want to spend most of my time. I don't want to be like a mentor, life coach, like all the time. So I'll probably make it pretty expensive. I got a lot of people who are interested at the last price I put out, which is like $65 for half an hour and like 130 for an hour or around that, 120 for an hour or something like that. So I'll probably need to make it more expensive because I had a bunch of people reach out at that price. And because I'd rather do it as like a once a week thing, even just to make a little bit of extra money. And I know it's a good process in learning how to deal with people and help people on a one-to-one frequency. So we'll see about the one-on-one stuff. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, working on this book, I think that'll help me to start making money from social media stuff. And then it's like, every video I put out, if one goes viral and people come to my profile, they'll see, hey, ebook in bio, $5 or whatever. And there'll probably be people who are like, oh, cool, yeah, I can do that. And it's updated every month or two. You might have some input into what I put in there if you DM me some questions. So yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for that. It's been fun writing about it too. I've been spending a few hours a day the last week or so on that. So hopefully soon, hopefully by the end of the year, that'll be out there, but we'll see. And then regarding my job, my bonus usually comes in like March. So I'm thinking I'll stay till then and then see what happens with the book, how much I start making from that and things like that. And then, may think about shifting into content full time, which would mean quitting my job. I have a job in digital advertising right now. So we'll see, just kind of keeping you updated. This is what this video is about, just sort of a life update on where I'm at with things. And mentally, things have been great. I've been in a really good headspace. I've been doing other content related things I've been doing is Dualistic Unity podcast. That'll be linked in the description below, my new podcast. So make sure you check that out if you haven't. It's with my friend Ray, and we cover a lot of interesting topics. So if you like my content, I think you'll definitely like the Dualistic Unity stuff. We're also doing a workshop. We're doing a social anxiety workshop right now. We've done 2 out of the 4 sessions, so really enjoying that. I was pretty nervous before the first session, especially not super nervous after or before the second, because it was just uncertainty. I'd never been a part of a workshop where people paid to be in it, and it's me and Ray doing it. So it was really cool experience. Went super well. The people on it seemed to really enjoy everything we were talking about and resonate. And so that's gone really well. And I have a lot of experience dealing with social anxiety, talking about it. So it's been super fun to do that. And I'm excited to do more. We'll probably have other topics we'll do workshops on in the near future. Once this one wraps up, November 9th, we'll probably do more after that. So I think, stuff like the book, paid workshops, things like that, that'll allow me to begin making a decent amount of money from content related things. And I really enjoy that. I definitely enjoy it more than my day-to-day job. So excited for that. So what is it? End of October now. Holy shit, it's the end of October of 2021. Fuck, that's wild. So we have 2 more months of 2021. And then, as I mentioned, I get my bonus in March. So we'll see. We'll reevaluate early next year how things are going. But may shift away from my job, aka quit my job. That's what I'm saying. But then, so I'm in New York right now. I signed a new apartment lease early September. So I've been here for about a month and a half. And it's a 1-year lease, 12-month. So that ends next September. After that, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm sort of a toss-up. I love being in New York. It's my favorite place, up there with one of my favorite places in the world. I have a lot of friends here, a lot of friends from school. So really enjoy being in New York. but I also really want to travel. I want to see the world, like see as much of it as I possibly can before I die. And so I may, after this, if I can quit my job, start doing content stuff full time, I can certainly be wherever the hell I want doing that. So I may travel next year, September. There's a good chance that I just leave the States, travel abroad, Europe, Southeast Asia, and just set aside a certain amount of money and see how long it lasts me, kind of buy a one-way ticket and see what happens and just bounce around, not really have a ton of structure to it, create content, do workshops as I go, work from my laptop essentially. And, you know, yeah, I mean, it'll be cool if I can be making money regularly as I'm traveling, but I'm okay if I'm not making a ton. I'll kind of set aside a certain amount of savings to last me during that and just see what happens. I really want to see. I've been to Europe. Um, I went to 6 cities there after I graduated college. Never was able to go abroad because of baseball in college. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have done that. But anyway, so yeah, Southeast Asia, probably want to see that. Maybe see that first. Australia, yeah, Europe, yeah, it's all on the table for sure. So September 2022, we shall see how that goes. Um, yeah, and another thing that I've recently gotten into is mushrooms. So I want to talk about that a little bit as well. I've been microdosing a couple times a week. I'm not doing a super uh, rigid protocol. Like there's the Stamets stack, and there's another guy, Stamets protocol, I should say, which is I believe 4 days of microdosing on and 3 days off. There's another protocol that's like 5 days on and 2 days off. And then another one that's like 1 day on, 2 days off. So I've been doing probably like 3 days a week on average, just here and there, and then playing with doses. Between probably the smallest will be like zero point 0.2 or zero point 0.3 grams for a microdose. Some days I'll do a gram here and there, usually on the weekend. Although I have, never mind. I've done work on a gram, and it's not a big deal at all. I found that once you get closer to 3 grams is when the hallucinations start kicking in. So that I'll stay away from that during the work week for sure. I'll save that for weekends, a Saturday or a Sunday or something. But it's been really great experience, and I made a whole video about my first time taking them. It was actually, I tried it a couple times, but kind of packaged it into one video that's on my YouTube. I'll link it in a card here somewhere. But yeah, it's helped me in a lot of ways, honestly. It's not that I was necessarily struggling with a lot of things before, but it's just kind of helped me appreciate just the simpler things in life a lot more. My mind has been a lot quieter since trying them out in different dosages. It's a lot easier to be present because my mind isn't taking me in 100 different directions about, reminiscing, ruminating on past events, worrying about potential future scenarios. I'm just not doing that as much anymore. And it's fucking awesome. As those who are, overthinkers can probably relate quite heavily to that sentiment. If your mind starts to get quieter, your life kind of starts to get better. So it's been really cool, and being able to talk to people about it. I've met up with some friends and, just had them try some smaller dosages, and a lot of them really like it. So it's unfortunate there's such a negative stigma around them. They kind of got roped in with, like heroin and shit. And it's like, it's not even close to that type of drug at all. At least for me, it was always like kind of in that realm, like heroin, crack, shrooms, acid, LSD were all kind of packaged into the same box. It's like, that is just not the case at all. It's such a unfortunate stigma that it got roped into that. And I really think a lot of people can benefit. There's been just a lot of research going on about the benefits of microdosing mushrooms or even just like doing one trip can help people with PTSD, uh, anxiety, depression, addiction. Especially, there's been cases where people are an alcoholic or addicted to cigarettes, and they do one trip with like a typical trip is like 3.5 grams or an eighth of an ounce. I think it comes out to something like that, 3.5 grams. That's usually you'll see hallucinations, you'll trip, like full on trip, and people have done that once and like they never touch a cigarette again. It's kind of wild. So it's a potentially very beneficial medicine. Obviously, do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. But I think it could benefit a lot of people. So that's been another part of my life recently that I've gotten into. And I've been, like, I was the guest on a podcast yesterday. I'll probably repost it on my channel as well when it comes out. But I like wasn't nervous at all going into it, basically, and it was cool because I usually almost every time I'm a guest on a podcast, like I'm kind of nervous, and I found myself yesterday during the day. I was like, I'm usually nervous about these things. Like, I'm not nervous at all. Like, this is cool. And then I went on, and it was a great conversation. I was very comfortable the whole time. I was able to articulate all of the ideas that I wanted to very well. And I, I don't think I can give mushrooms all the credit. Like, I definitely will take some of the credit. And what I've realized is the insights that I have when I'm on mushrooms or since taking them semi regularly, uh, it's not that they're going to change your life, but I think they give you the opportunity to see things differently, and you can take that for what you will. Like, you're not necessarily just from taking them going to realize that, we're all the same thing, and like we are God. We are literally are the universe. Like, we came from the earth. You're going to have the opportunity to start to realize things like that because it peels back all of the layers that we have been programmed into us about how the world is, who we are, the things that just, quote unquote, are the way they are. They start to get peeled back. And you're like, are they just the way they are? Or is this all fucking made up? So it more easily allows you to question things like that and just see things a little bit more clearly for what they are. So, yeah, that's definitely been a part of how, great I've been feeling recently. And I'm just very in a deeper state of acceptance than I have been in a while. And it's been pretty cool, and not trying to necessarily force things, just do things that I enjoy, that I'm enthusiastic about. This book, Dualistic Unity podcast stuff, just content in general. I've kind of toned down. I haven't been filming as many TikToks and reels and whatnot because I'll have like an insight or a video idea, and I've been writing it down because I want to. I don't know. I kind of want to save some for when I put the book out, so that if I have a really good idea and it goes viral, I'd rather have an opportunity to make some money from that. So I've been kind of pulling back. I've still been posting a few a week, but I usually, post a few a day as closer to, or at least one a day. But I'll be back into that pretty soon. Yeah, I kind of just want to get this book out there realistically and just update it as I go. So the initial version may be kind of raw. It'll probably be like 20 topics, have some journal prompts, uh, have some other stuff like some book resources, some books I really like, some videos I like, and it'll probably each chapter will have like links to videos as well. It'll just be, here's a topic, here's some stuff I wrote about it, but here's also some videos you can watch about it. So when you're dealing with any of those sorts of um, emotions or issues or negative feelings in your life, you can go to this book and search it, and you search a certain topic, and I'll have chapters tagged so they'll come up, and then you can peruse that chapter about that topic. So yeah, really excited to get that out there. It's been fun to work on, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I wanted to keep this under 20 minutes, so we're almost there. But thanks for tuning in, thanks for listening. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff, and Talk to you soon. Peace.